regrets are made worse through this way of thinking, through this living in the past, trying to change the past, worrying about the future. All these things are not very helpful, and that's what leads us more to ruminating and overthinking on these thoughts of regret. So the way in which we combat that is by trying to be present. And I think that's one of the best bits of advice for life, is to be present. And people always say, how do you be present? The way in which I be present is to be present, which I know sounds simple, but it's a habit you develop. So if you're watching this video right now, you just try be aware that you're being present. So you can look around you, you realize you're a person watching a screen, you're hopefully learning some advice from this video, and you're not getting lost into this like hamster wheel where people go and become like a robot or a zombie and they're just going through life. You know, you take a step out of that little routine and you breathe, you have a present moment. If you're on a bus, you look around the bus, you know, there's so much going on, so much to take in, and there's so much things to be grateful for. And when we be present, we're no longer living in the past, and these thoughts of regret wash away. And that's another thing. So I say you can build the habit of being present. You build the habit of living in the past, the habit of regret. The more you think about something, the easier it becomes for your mind to think about this thing. Your mind is developing the system of thinking about regrets. So stop building that habit and start building the habit of being present, and they kind of swap, which is an amazing tool. Now actually, whilst I've got the thought of regret on my mind, a way not to make regrets is, when something comes to mind, something you want to do, just make a note of it, write it down, maybe have a scrapbook or a notebook or even your phone. Just make a note in that phone of this thing. So you want to start a gym, or you want to start a club, you want to say something to someone, you even want to say, you write it down, and then write it down every time this thought comes to mind and you don't act on it. Write it down, and after a while you start to see this thing, you think about it a lot more than you assume you do. It's always on your mind. And once you read this notes, you read these notes, you've been writing how much this thing, how many times you thought of this thing, then you'll see it. A lot of these negative feelings that we feel throughout the day, some are necessary, and it's a part of life. You're going to feel ups, you're going to feel downs. Like, life obviously isn't all perfect, but that's the perfection to life. As I say, that life is perfect chaos. It's chaotic, it's crazy, but it's perfect in a way. The creation of the universe, if you're a scientific person, was chaotic. It was a huge explosion, yet it led to this perfection of life, which I think is just quite extraordinary. But all these problems, all these negative ways of thinking, and I say negative ways of thinking, I believe, that lead to unproductive thoughts that only weigh you down. That's what I consider a negative way of thinking. So ruminating, overthinking on the past that you can't change. This isn't positive. That's what I call a negative thought. And obviously negative thoughts do come into your head, but holding on to them and ruminating is not the right way to go about it. But all this can be fixed with the dichotomy of control. So obviously the Stoics taught about the dichotomy of control. Epictetus says some things are within our power, others are not. Within our power are our motivation, opinion, aversion, desire. Not within our power are our wealth, our health, reputation, our office. You know, these things that are not within our power. And I think once you understand this, the things that are outside of your control, how little control you have, it gives you a great sense of power, and you won't hold on to the past. You won't try hold on to circumstances. You won't try control the future in such a way that it causes inner turmoil. Understanding the dichotomy of control, the things that are within your control, the little control that you have, is such a powerful tool. And I think this is a very helpful tool to help you deal with regret. Understand that these things are outside of your control. It does no good to try to control them. But what does good is you're controlling your opinion, your motivations, your desires, the things that you start to take, the actions you take now. That's what does good, creating yourself into a better character, that will hopefully not make these mistakes. You'll make other mistakes. We all make mistakes. But a mistake isn't really a mistake unless you sit on it too long and you let it ruin your life. Things always go wrong, things always go right. But it is within our power to choose our opinions of things, how we behave towards things, how we react to these things. And all you can control is the present moment right now. So make a conscious effort right now to stop overthinking this regret and start to be present. It will fix your life. People like to look at the past and ruminate on mistakes of the past or regrets of the past. Oftentimes people regret the mistakes they've made. They think about these mistakes, like they overthink, they ruminate on this, and it can ruin their day-to-day life, it can ruin their life. And you have to see mistakes as chances to learn. So, like as a kid, you make a mistake, you drop something, it breaks, and then you go, oh, when I drop things, there's a chance it'll break, I lose the thing, it upsets me. That's what happens when you're a kid, and you grow up learning these things through making mistakes. But as we grow up, we're told that mistakes are bad, especially in school. You get one test, if you fail, you're screwed. But the real life's not always like that. You make a mistake, you can learn from it. You make another mistake, you can learn from it. And I think when you have this mind shift that a mistake's not this fatal error, it's just a chance for you to learn to do things a better way, or a way that works, and not to keep making the same mistakes. So try see these mistakes that you think they're mistakes, try see them as chances to learn. They have enabled you to learn a lesson, so there is a positive in it. As the Stoics believe in this flame, it's a burning flame. Imagine we're the flame, and as a flame consumes, you throw wood to the flame. Maybe you're trying to dampen the flame out of a big pallet of wood, but the flame consumes this. It consumes the obstacle and fuels the flames even more. It grows brighter, having this obstacle come its way. And that's how we should be, is these obstacles come our way, these mistakes, these challenges, they come our way, and we grow from them because they're chances to learn, they're chances to grow. They are not fatal errors. Whatever happens to you was being prepared for you from everlasting. And the mesh of causes was spinning from eternity, both your own existence and the incidents of this particular happening. That is from... Okay. That is from the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So I was just talking about this book. That phrase from that book is referring to amor fati, as the Latin phrase that the Stoics followed, to love your fate. The world happens as it does. Our fate has been written for us. And I know a lot of people don't believe that. A lot of people don't believe in a God or a divine creator, or they don't believe in this cosmic nature that has written life for us in a way. I didn't. But when you think about it, I'll convince you that this phrase is true. I call it perfect chaos, that the world is chaotic. It happens as it does, and things will happen to us regardless of how we react. That is the writing. We cannot stop the world from turning. It's impossible. So that is the divine creator, or that is the cosmic nature writing our lives. And all we can control is our behavior, our opinion, our motivation, our desire. And the thought, the concept of perfect chaos is this chaos is happening around us. This world is going, spinning, and all these things are happening around us, billions of people, all this craziness. But it's perfect because it has led to our life. And if we accept it as perfect, as the Stoics said, amor fati, you love your fate. If you accept this chaos as perfect, then you'll go about living a lot better. But if you start to fight the chaos, you start to think that the world is so dark and the world is a treacherous place and it is no good for anyone. If you think that life is unfair and treating you unfair, then this is the way you'll behave, and that will have an impact on your life. And the thing is, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but you can't change it because the life is written. It happens as it does, and you cannot stop that. So you can either think that this chaos is unfair and evil, or you can think this chaos is perfect, and it happens as it does, so accept it as perfect. So I've got quite the paradox with regret. Say there's something you're regretting, a mistake you made or something you didn't do, and you're thinking about it a lot, you're dwelling on it, you're ruminating on it, you're letting it affect your present life. You know, say this goes on for quite a while. Well, the paradox is, in the future, after months, weeks, years of holding on to this regret, in the future you will regret all of that ruminating, all that time wasting, all that time spent thinking about this thing. So try to let go of it now, because that will be just another regret added to your list. I was talking about regrets and how to not create regrets. It's good advice. It's advice I've used for myself. Ways. Oh, it's so muddy over there. Yeah, it's flooded. I didn't think when I was talking about regrets and how not to make regrets. There's many of the people asking about regrets, probably wondering how they can stop with these negative feelings that they've regretted something. You know, maybe they've already got these feelings of regret, something they missed out on, something that they did wrong. And well, like I always say, is, you know, all you have is the present. You can't change the past. The future is undetermined. So what you've got to do, the Stoics say, amor fati, you've got to love your fate, make the best of the present moment. So if you are dealing with regrets, mistakes you made, first of all, just be present. Know that the only way you can improve your life is by improving the present moment. It doesn't do well to dwell on mistakes of the past. And then the other thing is, oftentimes you regret things, but you cringe on the past because you've grown since then. You've become a different person. You see that these things are now mistakes and you would never do them today. But one time you did make that mistake and you know it's bad now, so you won't make it. So see that. I got to walk back. The dog is jumping all over me. Stop. Right, we're walking back. Yeah. See, if you regret doing a certain thing, then see it as a positive in a way that you've grown. You see that this thing is not a mistake and you wouldn't make it. So now you're a person that wouldn't make that same mistake. It's quite a powerful feeling. So yeah, now you know how not to hold on to regrets and how not to hopefully make regrets. Stop regretting the past, because the past has made you who you are. The only reason you're here is because of your past. You don't know what could have happened if things had gone a different way. You don't know if you would even still be here. You don't know what type of person you are. You don't know that without these mistakes, you wouldn't have built this character you are today. So these mistakes have built you to an understanding where you realize that they were mistakes. So you've grown as a character. So you have to see that without your past, you would not be here. So stop regretting the past. The only thing you can do is focus on the present and become an even better person so that your future self does not look back at this person today and regret that. And I spoke about this on Instagram. I said that there's this paradox of regrets, where if you are regretting something and you're thinking about this regret and it's going on in your mind, you're overthinking, you're ruminating on this regret. In a few years' time, this present moment where you're ruminating, you're overthinking, you're worrying about this regret, will become yet another regret, because you've wasted so much time with this negative energy, this negative feeling, when you didn't need to. You can just let go of regrets, let go of mistakes, and move on. You know, I've been asked to talk about regret, what I think of regret. It's quite something, really. I'd like to say, so far in life, I have no regrets. It's things I almost regretted, And there's always things, there's never, I've done a lot of mistakes and I don't regret any of them. But there's almost things I didn't do that I would have regretted, that weighed on my mind for a long time, that I thought, I can't have this be a regret in life. And I suppose that's what people say, don't they? You regret the things you never did. It's quite something to think that if you keep putting this thing off, one day you'll just be an old man talking about how you could have done it, or maybe it'll just sit in your mind your whole life, wondering what would have been if you did it. And it's quite sad actually, it's quite a depressing thought. I think it's one of the worst thoughts. It can really motivate you to do something when you think of that thought, the sadness of an unlived life or an unfulfilled dream or an undone thing or an unsaid thought. If something's important to you and you're thinking about it a lot, then what's the point in letting it just be a thought? What's the point in not letting it live? I don't know, you see a lot of people talking about what they could have done, or that dream they had, or why they didn't do this, or personally never told them. Well, the thing is, if you're wrong about something, say you want to tell someone you like them, even if it hurts, in a year's time or 10 years time, when you're an old man, you're be thinking, I can't believe they rejected me. But you'll always be wondering what could have been. It's like Inception, really. Don't live to be an old man filled with regret.